Beef cattle is a major industry in Australia, with cattle produced in all states and all territories. The Australian beef industry exports nearly 70% of the cattle raised, making Australia third as a world exporter under Brazil and India. Approximately 49% of Australian farms raise beef cattle, making it the most common agricultural production in Australia. Beef cattle is an important part of Australia's rural economy. As a tribute to Australia's cattle industry, we will be making a culinary symbol of the Down Under, Aussie meat pies. The meat pies I will be making are made with a flaky pastry and a gravy and meat filling. We will begin the process by making the dough for the pies. You will need 1 cup of unsalted butter, 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 cup of iced water. Add the flour, sugar, and salt to a food processor and pulse. Next, add the butter and pulse to mix. You will then add the water and mix until a dough-like texture forms. Roll the dough out onto a floured surface and gently knead and separate into small discs. Wrap the disc of dough in clear wrap and refrigerate for a minimum of 30 minutes. For the filling, I used 1 pound of ground meat, 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, and for the gravy, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 cup of beef broth, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, approximately 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Begin by sauteing the onion and garlic in olive oil. Add the ground meat and cook until brown. Set aside and begin the gravy by adding butter and flour to a saucepan. Whisk until golden and it begins to boil. Next, add your seasonings. Slowly add the beef broth while whisking. Add a dash of Worcestershire sauce or hot sauce for added flavor. Add the gravy to the meat and simmer until heated through. Okay, are you ready to make some meat pies?
Yeah.
Okay, where are these meat pies from?
Australia.
Australian meat pies, that's right. All right, so we're gonna get started by rolling out our pie crust. You ready?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you're gonna take flour and you're gonna flour the roller. As we demonstrate how to assemble the meat pies, I will take this opportunity to share some background information on this culinary cuisine. Meat pies are a symbol of Australian cuisine and were among the menu of the first official banquet of Sydney in 1788. It is believed that meat pies were invented as a way to preserve meat in medieval Europe. The pastry was originally not meant to be eaten. Referred to as Australia's national dish, Aussie meat pies are commonly served for lunch and can be found at local bakeries and cafes. They are usually eaten handheld and wrapped in paper, often with a bit of ketchup on top. A common pie filling is minced meat, or in the US also known as ground meat. Once assembled, an option is to brush an egg wash on top for an extra flaky and golden top. Bake in a preheated oven at 350 for 10 to 15 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, buddy, Take a bite and see what you think. Are they good? Good job. In 2019, Australian beef exports were higher than usual as severe drought forced liquidation. Queensland, located in the northeastern area of Australia, experienced devastating floods in February 2019. A slow-moving storm with heavy rainfall caused the Flinders River to swell nearly 37 miles wide in certain areas. As you can see here on the satellite image released by NASA, it shows just how significant the flooding was. The image on the left was taken in January 2019, and the image on the right was taken in February 2019. Australia's beef industry sustained a major hit early in the year, as it is estimated that 500,000 cattle died as a result of the flooding. Every state and every territory in Australia experienced fires in 2019. As of January 2020, more than 15.6 million acres in Australia has burned. 2019 was the warmest and driest years Australia has ever recorded. The cattle herd is expected to drop to its lowest level in more than 20 years. An estimated 2.3 million cattle live in areas impacted by the brush fires across Victoria and North-South Wales. Cattle loss from the fires is estimated to exceed 450,000. Cows have died directly from the flames, from heat stress, and from smoke inhalation. Australian farmers are struggling to financially and emotionally deal with the herd losses. The loss of cattle from drought, floods, and fire is expected to decrease Australia's cattle production by up to 20% in 2020. It is expected that Australia will drop to 4th in world exports under U.S. and cattle production. The loss of farm production in Australia is heartbreaking. Farmers are burying their livestock and being forced to euthanize injured animals at an alarming rate. Agricultural communities are relying on the support from their communities and other organizations. Funds are being raised to help agriculture communities during this crisis.